Happy New Year to everyone. Here we are on a brand new year of adventures. I can't wait. I see most everyone has signed into the chat and told me their name, their location, and I appreciate that. That's great. So this is the first of the meetings for 2025. It's a very exciting year because it's the final celebration of the centennial. So we'll be talking about that today too. Marco, you can put up the agenda and people can see what we have on our table for today. So we have two presentations, and then Lionel is going to be have a discussion with us, and Marco is going to make a presentation, and then I will open it up for further discussion. So we're going to start right off with Olaf and hear what you have to say.
Okay,
Share with
thanks.
us.
I hope it works. You hear me well?
Yes, I'm muting
Okay,
myself now.
so it asks me whether okay, I have to free this, open this. Okay, um, to be able to access. So okay, right. So whoop, well, let me check that you see my presentation. Oh, it's there. Okay. Do you see that? Okay, good. So I will largely well, thanks a lot, Susan, for the opportunity just to show what we are doing with planetariums in a number of instances. And I want to go through just a few pictures and then explain a little bit what we are doing. Those of you who have been on the IPS 2024 in Berlin, you know that. May have seen that. You see on the left side here, you see the big dome. This is belongs to the Planetarium Berlin. This is a dome actually which we uh, sold to the the Heinrich Hertz Institute a long time ago, and the Planetarium Berlin recently bought this for their own purposes. In the back, you see the other dome, which we have for rent, and we will get to that in a bit more detail. So two domes were there, and well, yes, I want to talk about the white one. The white one was a mystery for us, actually, where we were contacted before the fair. Uh, they wanted to have dome just without the audiovisual components, just a dome, and we didn't know what's going to happen there. And then finally, when we got there, we noticed that, well, this is the next picture, that size Model 1 was in the dome, was presented in full function, which was for us obviously a big honor to have the Model 1, size Model 1 with an age of 101 years to be presented in our dome. And it worked very well. I had good discussions with Romke, and actually, I believe it would be great to do a tour with this Model 1 through Germany and Europe and this constellation. He was very happy with what he saw when he could present it in our dome. So this is the dome, what I said, which was bought by Planetarium Berlin, and actually it got a branding also recently. We added that to the dome in the last year, which so they're using this dome. Now you see the same dome here on the right side, and also the other dome they have, which they used here with a different branding for a different purpose. So we're working a lot with the Planetarium Berlin with their domes. The smaller one, which you see here, this was for the Nordic Film Festival quite some time ago. This is our middle-sized dome, the Air Dome. Oh, sorry, there's an R missing. Air Dome VR, which we have for rent. And this is another dome, which is about this. The one before is 10 meters in diameter. This one is about 8 meters in diameter. This also belongs to the Planetarium Berlin. It's touring Berlin all year round. So they always go with this dome into the gym of a school. And the people go in there. They have a projector with a 180 degrees fisheye lens in there. The children are just lying on the floor, and then they see the stars and they see the ISS with the 360-degree videos. So this is being heavily used. The same kind of dome was also bought by the planetarium in Münster in Germany. So they use the same type of dome. You see here the same dome from the planetarium Berlin. This time it's used outdoors. It is largely for indoor purposes, but they use it again with the branding as in an outdoor event. They also have, Planetarium Berlin has this type of dome for fairs, largely for fairs. If you go somewhere and you want to show, without a lot of effort, you want to show this. You see there are two projectors on that. The screen can be tilted, so you can have it also horizontal. You can have a curtain around it so that it's closed. There's no light coming in. Can use it for different types of purposes. I also would like to mention our large dome. This is the Infinity Dome. It's here also Nordic Film Festival. They decided finally to use that every year. That dome fits 290 people. So it's 18 meters in square meter. And it is actually, yeah, it has been now in the Swiss Alps 1 week ago. The Sunrise, the Swiss operator, used it next to a skiing race, and they show their videos during the day and the evening until 4 o'clock in the night. They have disco in there. So you see on our website, you see quite a few pictures of the various domes. So yes, we are in the business of renting domes, and we are selling also domes. The Infinity Dome you just saw, it's 80 meters, 290 people. The Air Dome, was the white one, is a size of 10 meters. You fit 30 people. It's a maximum, right? Typically, people are on chairs leaning back, so you cannot fit it so closely. So you have less people, but they both have for different purposes, very attractive size. The dome screen, 2 meters. The screen itself is 2 meters. And if someone is interested in buying a dome for its own purpose, then it is always according to the customer specification, obviously. You have seen the size range and in which we are working. We are not on the level of the Sphere yet in Las Vegas, so just to be clear on that. And yes, the company, very briefly, the name of the company is actually Tatin. It comes from this kind of inflatable toys for children, this for jumping, what we call Hüpfbogen, jumping castles, this kind of things. But since 15 years, the company is now building these structures for presentations largely on events. So the company 40 years ago, it's based in the north of Germany. We are producing everything in Germany, so there's no Chinese product which can burn away. Something like that. It's all obviously according to the regulations we have in Europe for this type of constructions. It's designed for longevity, which means high quality. It is not something which blows away very quickly and whatever, you get easily problems. The dome, the white dome you saw, it's already 10 years old. We have not had any repair on that. It is a very stable, a very solid type of construction. The audiovisual systems are very high quality. In the mid-sized dome, we have stereo from the audio side. In the large dome, we have now a big Ericsson, bought them just recently, projectors. There are 5 projectors inside. And we have spatial sound in there. It comes with heating or air conditioning, whatever you need. It's approved to wind force, the middle size to wind force 10, the large one to 12. Last year we had, in the Swiss Alps, we had actually wind force 12 with the dome, and it didn't move. So it's very solid. It's using water tanks in order to keep it on the ground. The setup is very quick. So for the dome screen, it's only 2 hours. The mid-sized dome, the white one, is in 5 hours is being set up and obviously also dismantled about the same time. The big one, as you can imagine, this is 2 days. It's more effort to bring up the big one. What we can also offer, and I've seen that for the IPS 2024, that we rent the components as well, maybe sometimes only the dome. We also sometimes use audiovisual equipment. Only one example was for the Deutsche Museum in Munich, where we had a geodetic dome, which we also provided, but we didn't produce it ourselves. But we provided the audiovisual components. With this, I would like to close, and I'm open for any kind of questions. Here's the contact information if you want to get in touch with me for further discussions.
Every time I go to a conference now and I see all of these mobile domes on the vendor's floor, it just tickles me because when we first started with IPS and trying to join in with the mobile domes, they called us the blow-ups and the toy domes and all that. And now these are becoming very, very popular and of course, do the work in the field that stationary or fixed domes can't do. I'm very excited about your company, and I would like to also tell Joanna and Leonel knows that I write a column, and I don't advertise things, but I do like to inform people of products. So I'm going to be reporting on this meeting in my column. And so if you would like photos and some descriptions, not a sales pitch, but exactly what you just did, information so that people know that these exist. You have quite a wide variety of domes, and that's very exciting. Did you say that the wind the domes are held down in the wind by water tanks? Is that what you said?
Yes, yes. So there's a very thick water hose around the dome, and there we fill it up with water, and that provides the stability.
Interesting. And how long did you say it took the medium-sized dome to be erected?
Set up, including the audiovisual components, in 5 hours.
5 hours. Okay.
So the typical rental periods which we have with our customers are between 2 and 7 days.
Okay.
So it is really, maybe just to elaborate on this, when you use an inflatable dome, typically when you go outdoor, and when you have don't not that long installations. If you have a long installation, especially indoor, a geodetic dome may be better, because obviously you have to keep this under air pressure, the dome, and with the geodetic you don't need that. But the geodetic dome, to build up, you need a crane and all these kind of things. And this one is inflatable; it just comes up.
Yep. Yep. And you do the geodesic domes also.
Well, and we offer them, we provide them, but we don't manufacture them.
Right. Okay.
Well,
Thank you so
sometimes we use companies like Front Picture. Some of you know that we have a very strong collaboration with Front Pictures in Kiev.
Wonderful. Any other questions, people?
Anna raised her hand.
I just want to say I worked with these domes for 6 years now, before I left Berlin a couple weeks ago. And I would also add that they're extremely accessible because they hold the projection screen up with negative pressure. You don't have to have the tube that you crawl through, like the Skylab dome or Starlab domes, which I'm fond of from my childhood, but you don't have to crawl through the tube and you don't have to like go through the slit opening or anything like that. And once they're inflated, the children aren't going to be able to open up the side and let the air out either, which is good. We yearly visited a school in Berlin for children with physical needs. And every last one of them had no issues getting in and out of the dome because it's a giant opening. They could come in with large electronic wheelchairs. They could come in with their crutches. And because of sitting on the ground. They could also bring in specialty bean bags and stuff for the kids who needed a little extra support. So it's definitely a plus as well for being accessible to other people.
Great.
Maybe I just add to this. So the medium-sized dome is a dome where the pressure is in the walls itself. This is what Anna just described. So we don't have to have kind of the doors to keep the pressure inside. Now, with a very large one, construction laws don't allow this kind of construction for very large domes, and so there we have to have doors inside. But also we have access for handicapped people, even for these domes.
Yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned that's the one that we took to schools that I was thinking of, which Marco helped me tear down one time as well, and I appreciate it.
Okay.
That was great.
But yeah,
Jeremy?
that was the 8-meter dome.
Yep. Jarvis.
How many people does it take to erect those domes?
We typically we come with 2 people to take a dome up, the mid-size one, but the dome is yes, for the white one dome, if with the audiovisual components, we have 5 projectors inside, right? One for the top and 4 around. And the calibration obviously is taking a specialized knowledge. So typically we come there to build it up with 2 people and stay there also during the period. The black dome, which you have seen the Berlin Planetarium uses, is actually handed over to them. They handle it fully by themselves. And it fits actually in a yeah, it's very light, so it fits on a panel. How do you call that? In a little Sprinter or whatever kind of car.
Okay. If it's just the dome though, not the projection system, because obviously
But
there's a
the
projection system.
the projection system in the black dome is actually one projector in the middle with the 180 degrees lens. So it's
Yes.
easy to handle, so that also would fit into the Sprinter easily.
Yes, but is that still a 2-man build?
Well, Anna, I mean, you have more experience in using. How many people were you using?
So we always use 3, at least for the heaving of the dome, because it is 120 kilo, and we roll that on a roll board. But once the dome is in place, it could be set up by 2 people. And for IPS, TAT team sent just 2 very, very productive guys who set up both the white dome and the big, super intense dome where you guys watched films if you were at IPS. They set both of those up in one day, just the 2 of them.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Wow. Yes, that was quite an amazing setup at IPS. Thank you so much for supporting our meeting that way. Excellent.
Pleasure.
I have one more question for Ulf.
Mm.
Here in Costa Rica, we have been working with 2 very different Starlab domes. And the old nylon one is better when we have to go to very humid and hot places. And the current one, the digital, it looks like it wasn't made for our countries at all. It's black cloth, cannot get wet. It gets very hot, even if it's under a roof. If the sun gets in and the sun is on part of the dome, that part gets very hot. So what about the color when you produce these domes to be able to put them outside? Because gray Berlin, any color, but Costa Rica, what would you think about that?
Oh, it is really. I mean, you have seen the domes which we offer for rent. I mean, they are all white, so we don't have a black dome for rent. So it is really, if you purchase a dome, it's really up to you what kind of material you want to have, and we discuss it. Typically, we have discussions with a company, with organizations like Greenpeace. They obviously want to have a green dome. Actually a bigger one than our Infinity Dome. So this is what we're discussing there. So that's quite fascinating, this project. So it's really up to the customer what he would like to have. But the air condition is pretty strong as well.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That was very informative.
Thank you. A pleasure.
Okay, Joanna.
Hello, everybody. Okay. How's that? Oh, perfect. Okay. So here we are. Hello, everybody. My name is Johanna, and I'm from Animation Studio Krutad. I would like to thank to Susan and Marco for the opportunity to present our studio here, and also our new show, The Little Eve. And I just introduce us a little bit. We are a small animation studio based in Prague, and we call ourselves that we would like to be something like Pixar for planetariums. And what we mean by that is that we would like to bring quality animation, high quality animation to domes, but also strong and science-based stories that helps engage little kids and families to the program in planetariums. So that's why we try to call ourselves Pixar for planetariums. And we are really glad that we can be here because over 50% of our clients are mobile planetariums. So thank you for such a huge support of our creativity and our products. And yeah, it's so that's it. Thank you very much for that. And here it is, our new project, our new film show. It calls The Little Eve. I don't know if you are familiar with our first show, 3, 2, 1, Lift Off, but this one is for younger kids. It's for kids from 3 to 7 years old, so basically kindergarten. And it's the main story is about a little girl, Eve, and she's very shy and not brave enough, and it really bothers her. So she's really sad, and her mother tries to help her and tries to help her, and she tells her stories about her ancestors, and via those stories little Eve finds out that inside of her it's a lot of braveness. And well, I just play you the teaser for the show so you can find out more about it. So here we are.
Hi, I'm Eve. I love nature. I know a lot about it, and I keep learning more. My brother and sister are a bit different, but we all play together in the playground. At least we used to, before...
Oh, what?
Before the wolves took over.
Look, guys, little brats want to play in the playground.
But there's plenty of space for everyone.
Let me see. Well, no.
Hey, that's not fair.
Perhaps you can play. Over there.
Enough. We can't let them chase us away all the time. Let's show them what's what.
Yeah,
Come on, Eve.
And that's how it all started.
Hey, listen.
Huh?
The playground belongs to all of us, and we can use it too.
Throw them into the river.
Come, Eve, help us.
What? Boom.
Eve, where are you going?
Yeah, I did a runner. My brother and sister wanted to fight the wolves, but we're so much weaker than them. There's no point in trying to beat them. From what I know about nature, the weaker do stand a chance. But how? What did the first tiny cells do differently for them to eventually occupy the whole inhospitable planet? And how did life move to dry land? And what about the dinosaurs? They were even bigger than wolves. And yet they're long gone. There must be a message in it somewhere. It will help me get our playground back. I'm just a little mammal, but I'll figure it out. Make sure not to miss it.
Okay, so sorry. Oh, perfect. Okay, so the main idea behind the whole show is to present how the life began in our solar system. And as little Eve told you in the teaser, we are telling, or we are saying this theory via three stories about cells in Asian Ocean, then through the story about the first fish that went from sea to the solid earth, and the last story is about mammals who outlived the great extinction of dinosaurs, and how they did it, and why they conquered the earth afterwards. So and I understand that this is quite different from normal planetarium topics, which includes stars or solar system, etc. And we tried to do this show a little bit different, but we also realized that for some planetariums, it's really necessary to include the story about stars or planets, etc. So we add one extra story about the solar system. So there will be two versions of this show, one with the solar system story and one without it. And this picture is generated from AI because our animator still works on this show, and I didn't want to retard them, so I just helped myself with this picture because I didn't want to hold them back, and so they didn't generate it or export this show, this part of the show for me for the presentation. So sorry for that. And yeah, we would like to thank our partners, Czech Film Fund, Planetum, and Experimenta for the support, and so the story can see the light of the day. And yeah, these are reasons why you fall in love with our show. As I said before, we always check the facts in our shows with scientists. It's same here, and we always try to make it fun for kids, but also for parents. So the show is suitable for whole families. And in this show, we really focused on that kids can relate with the characters. So maybe it can help them. The story can help them in their own lives. So we have an offer for mobile planetariums this first year, because the show will release during the spring. I think in March we will have the premiere. So this year we offer first year for 1,000 euros, and then if you want to prolong the license for other 2 years, it's still for 1,000 euros. So that's the deal for mobile planetariums from us. And maybe some of you know that we are very open-minded about financing options. So if you would like to finance it in various ways, there's no problem with it. We always support our clients with educational materials, and for this show we also will have the merchandise. So if you want to relate or engage your audience more, so there will be the merch available for this show. And that's it. That's all. You can scan this QR code. You can find more information about the show, or also you can watch the trailer again. And if you have any questions, please ask me or send me an email, and I will be glad to answer you all and everything. So that's it for the story of the little Eve. And we also have still this special sale for 3-to-1 lift of the unlimited license only for 1,700 euros. So if you are still interested in our previous show, please give us a call or email us, and we will be happy to provide you with 3-to-1 lift-off. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I saw that 3-2-1 liftoff, a very cute show too. You do good work. We have been discussing with Portables about consortiums, setting up a consortium to purchase a product or a license for X amount of time, and it never came to fruition at this moment, but it's something to let you know that we're trying to work on groups of portables, somehow working out a deal with distributors to share the cost.
Yeah, we are happy to hear it, because I understand it's especially the post-COVID times. It's very hard on you, on mobile planetariums at all. So we are happy to hear that you are trying to do something like that, because we are really open to cooperate. Yeah.
Yes, I'm getting the sense that when I go to companies, they don't have an incentive for that. But if you can get a group of people together and think of a way to propose to the company a reasonable offer, that is probably the way to go.
It's always good to hear that when you want the show, you can you try to make the community and get it, because for us it's still better to give you the license like that or no license. So
that's right.
Always better.
Some license is better than none.
Yeah, exactly.
Any further questions?
Yes, I have a question for Joanna. What's the length of the program right now, and in which
25 minutes.
languages do you have?
Right now we have only English, but of course we are ready to prepare whatever dubbing you will need, because it's same with 3-to-1 lift-off. Always when somebody from the new territory wants the show, so we prepare the dubbing. Yeah. And 25 minutes. I don't know if you did, but it's 25 minutes length.
With the addition of the solar system section, would that increase the time?
No, we switch one of the stories. The story, I think it's the story with fish. We excluded, and then we put first the solar system, then the cells in the ancient sea, and then the mammals. So it will be still the 25 minutes, even with the solar system story.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I want to add, Joanna, this year I have a project. I want to identify which is the best time length for these
Okay.
programs for mobiles, because we have
Okay.
different conditions. People are maybe just lying on the floor, so they cannot be like there too much time. It's not that comfortable as the seats. But then, so you producers can have maybe that information, because when you do something like this, you can produce one for the fixed domes and a version for mobile domes, which could even come
Okay.
different price, hopefully. And so you
Yeah.
have that. So the mobile version that's licensed for mobiles and the fixed version longer and with all the stuff. So maybe we
And
can.
so you have the answer. What's the best
Oh,
length?
I already know it because I've been in this at 33 years already. So
Okay.
I
So
know what's the proper length. And it's a little bit
okay.
shorter than that. There are some other variables, of course, if the group is prepared to be more time in the dome, if they know they have to be like half an hour there, it will happen. But
Yeah.
normally, if you have many groups and the teacher they say, okay, you have just 20 minutes for this and change, and the other is coming. So you have a different dynamics, and probably
Yeah.
having a shorter version will help. But I'll
Okay.
have my
And
article.
we are speaking about like 50 minutes or
15? Yes.
15? Okay.
15.
It's very ambitious for us to short the story. Just
But when you're producing it, when you're scripting it, I think you can do that.
yeah.
Even
So
keeping the whole story and everything, maybe just a bit more dynamic. But you can't do
okay,
that.
I pass this hints to our scenarists and scriptwriters and yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I've heard many portables say that 15 minutes is about the max. And other distributors have done modules instead of one story. They break it into modules so that it can be shown in small bits and then conversation.
Okay.
I think there was a hand raised.
Yes. Go ahead. Reading India. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Dayanidhi. It's Reading India is my company name. I am audible. Hello.
Yeah. I can
Okay.
hear you. Sorry.
Okay, great. I am in South India. It's part of India. We ready to buy your videos. We see the trailer. It's very interesting. So we looking for primary level students content like this type of stories. But we have mobile planetarium right now. We use in mirror projection system. So do you convert the mirror projection system means we ready to buy? We will discuss about that things. One and another one is we ready to translate in the Indian local language one called in Tamil. So this language in Singapore, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and India and Mauritius. The six country have this Tamil language is national language. That's my mother tongue also. So we are ready to translate in Tamil, like dub or voice overing. We can make that. So we already done some movies in Tamil language. We dub with Tamil language. So we ready to do that.
Thank you. Perfect. It's always perfect to know that somebody in foreign areas are ready to adapt our shows. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I catch the first question perfectly. You asked if we are able to prepare the show for your system? You have some special
Mirror, yeah, mirror, specular mirror. We call mirror projection system.
Okay.
You have in 360-degree round, no? We
Yeah,
use
yeah,
half
yeah.
of the image only. So
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
convert means it's very easy for us. Or we also have in some softwares we can work with that also. So we can convert the mirror projection in 360-degree to convert to mirror. We can
Oh,
do it.
okay, I got it. Yeah, I think that it's possible, but I have to say that I'm not the technical guy behind this.
Okay. Marco can understand this, how its mirror work and 360-degree fisheye
But
lens
just
work.
please send me an email, and I will be happy to find the answer with our technical director, so I can answer you directly if it's
Yeah, okay.
possible.
I put my email in chat box, right?
Oh, perfect,
You can.
perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll copy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Make sure you put your name too.
Oh, okay. I will make that.
I see that some people like Star India has no name for it, and people
No, it's
need
my
to sign
okay.
in and tell me who is who, not
This is
just
my
the
office
company.
system, so we use only office name. So
Yeah.
my personal name I put in chat box.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
Yeah, Lionel.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Just I wanted to raise something because most of the shows for are oriented. I mean, the image is put in one direction, and other stuff is only accompanying the image that is locally positioned. It would be great to have shows that could fit for circumferential seatings, not only directional seatings. And a few shows, very few shows are existing, and most of mobile domes are using circumferential seating. But some tried to make visuals that could be immersive, placed at the zenith of the dome. And that way it could go for mobile domes without directional seatings. But well, I know it's very complex. Even I made some shows and I orient most of the time things. But it's a problem with mobile domes because most of our presentation presenting the sky, we don't need to be oriented in one direction.
Yeah.
Well,
If
no, it's okay. Go ahead, John.
Thank you. Yeah, we know this, and yeah, it's always the great, I don't know, question or obstacle with the storytelling, because as people we are used to focus on the story on one page in book, on one screen in television or in normal cinema. So we are used to catch the story only on one place. So that's the problem with sorry with the movies as or shows as us, which is the story is it starts at one point and ends in the other. So this linear shows, it's very hard to make it for this type of planetariums. So sorry for that. We'll try to do something.
Yeah, I wanted to add on that, that I have to confess that one of these shows I had to identify these scenes and rotate them. Not modifying the program, just rotating the scene so everybody could see the show. Or a long scene, maybe I could just start like rotating it slowly during the length of that scene so more people can see it. I yielded much better result with the audience when I did that than when they were all just watching a single there, sometimes here or sometimes they're just wandering around. It's much better. But it's important for mobiles, and Lionel is right about that.
Yeah, sometimes the action can go from at least 90 degrees across the front of the screen instead of just being in the center.
Yeah, right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and sorry, there is also a question in chat, so I will answer it. In our previous show, 3 to 1 Liftoff, yes, our main character was named Elon, and for the next production, because we already preparing the sequel for 3 to 1 Liftoff, so the name of the hamster will be different than Elon, because we realized that for there is the reason why you should name your characters via dead people, so they cannot do anything that you are not agree with. So that's we are very sorry about it, and we don't want to be rude or yes. So we decided to rename the character for the next show. Yeah.
Didn't even know that. Interesting.
Yeah, we learned our lesson.
Yeah, I see. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
It
very
was a good discussion as well as a presentation. Next up is Lionel. Lionel had written to me about some of his concerns, and one of the things that we talked about was oh, I'll let you take it away. Go ahead.
Yeah, we discussed about the fact that we can do better than fixed domes most of the time, because we are close to the people that sit in front of us or around us, and that's why we know more. We know better than every other kind of big domes what they need, what they want, what they know, in order to bring them to a new condition where they will learn better and more effectively, because we know them, because we are in front of them, and they are few, and that's important. Before that, Susan and everyone, do you permit to give some news? I have not in this field, but in the planetarium field. I will share my screen now to show you some interesting news for the community of planetarium. So first of all, if you see my screen, okay. We made a meeting in December about interactive experiences with people in the planetarium, with all planetarium owners, and we provide a lot of optomechanical projectors to show people, because most of the people from today don't know that before the numeric, the digital era, there was some lamps providing stars around the dome. So we brought a Star Lab, we brought a Goto X3, we brought other cylinders, and even a Cosmodyssey, and we projected the stars with that. And from that, we learned that the stars are important, but nowadays we can do much more. We can do more than just the stars. We can do everything else about astronomy, especially. And we even tested, projected what can bring a Digitarium Alpha, that you may know, with only 768 pixels in the diameter, but providing the possibility to go further away with more explanation, with more images, with more visuals, helping a lot to explain astronomical stuff. So for example, here you've got a globe that with a fisheye, you project the light into the globe, but also at the horizon of the dome. And that way you can provide the Earth at the center, the moon rotating, turning around the Earth, and with the sun brightening and making phases on the moon. And that makes more than just a planetarium, but a scale model in this case. And that way we can explain a lot more with that. So other news I wanted to share with you is that Bell Museum, well, you can find the link on the IPS free shows page. But Bell Museum has made great shows, free planetarium shows like Mars, The Ultimate Voyage, and they're the new one, Mysteries of Your Brain, that are free. And you will just have to register in the licensing page. It's free. But before, 3 weeks ago, it was limited to US people. So now it's open to everybody, everyone worldwide. So it's good to know for all around the world people. Now you can register, license these two marvelous shows, only available in English for now, I think. Maybe Spanish, I don't remember. But yeah, you can produce your own language because everything is on the website, on the Google content folders. So you can get everything to make your own dubbing. Okay, what else? Just if I can do something else as well. There's a new block, LSS block, permitting to project stars with a video projector without ruining without dismantling the projector to put a fisheye system. Our block had trouble with finding elements due to the best fisheyes used were those, the Pelang, but Pelang is from Belarus. And Belarus, it's difficult to get them now, of course. So Sigma 8mm have been discontinued, so not easy to find them. But we have Samyang and other cheap fisheye lenses, but not well suited because of the field that it provided. But now, well, there are different kind of projection with Pelang, the mic or the Samyang and the Sigma. But anyway, it's close to be what we need to project our full dome contents. And then now it's possible to get with a Samyang 85mm camera lens and with a focal reducer from Celestron or from Meade as well, 6.3 focal reducer. You can do the trick with a diagonal mirror and the mic or the Samyang for now. If you have long wide-through video projectors, because there are two kinds of video projectors, and depending, you can have with long wide-throw projectors, you can have more information in the LSS website if your video projector is long wide throw or wide throw. And I would say that you can have some other possibilities if you use it like this, or if you use it like this. I mean, with a 50mm camera, you can have here the possibility to put the focal reducer here instead of there, if you have a short wide throw angle for your video projector. So now it's universal. The possibilities are now adapted to each kind of thing, thanks to Yves Lumeau, which is the thinker about this solution for small planetariums with a low budget. So that's all what I wanted to tell you. Or if I switch to the other machine now and try to present things about questions from the audience in a small planetarium and in a mobile or small planetarium, because we are, as I said earlier, closer to the audience, and that way it permits to have questions. And I will share my screen, but from it will be enough probably. Okay, so here it is our software. It's a free open source software named Spacecrafter that possibly run on Windows or Linux. And with this software, I had a lot of questions from the audience, as well as questions from myself about the sky. And for example, here you've got the night sky, and most of the time I ask the children, what is this? What is this? And they have to say, of course, they have to say, it's the Milky Way, it's our galaxy, it's made of stars also. But most of the time when I asked about this portion of white clear stuff, they said, oh, maybe it's the asteroids. And the asteroids can make maybe this light in the sky. And that way I said, well, we are lacking something interesting. It's the zodiacal light. That's why we developed with our software the possibility to bring the zodiacal light, and that way we can draw it. And if I don't have the focus. Okay. And if I bring the zodiacal light, you can see the zodiacal light has appeared here. And it's not related to the Milky Way. It's not at the same place. And the zodiacal light, as you may know, it's the dust and the asteroids and the particles from the solar system on the ecliptic line, and that make that brightness close to where the sun has set, and it's related to where is the ecliptic line and where are the planets as well. So we had to produce this content, the appearance of the zodiacal light, in order to show them, okay, it's possible to get the light from the asteroids, but it's not located there. And it's a way to answer questions with a digital visual to make it better. And when I had questions about, okay, when I had questions from the audience about things, most of the time I had to find an answer, and if I didn't have the answer, I'm presenting the digital things from 20 years from now, and that's why I've made a lot of contents to give the best answer. And that's, for example, the fact that most of the time people, and children especially, say, well, why is the moon following me? And that's why I have to bring the moon and explain things. And with an immersive way, we can explain that if we move, we will pass by a house, some trees, and as you can see, the mountains are following us as well. Because if we want to go further, if we go further away, of course, with the best speed, better speed, you will see the mountains passing by as well. But not the moon, because the moon is far away, and that's why you need to go with more speed to pass by the moon, and that's why you have to use a rocket. We talked about the fact to rotate the dome for shows, and as I'm with this software, I can show you that we have the possibility to bring videos, but as you can see, this video is quite oriented. But if we have a mode that permits to double the bottom part of the image to make it doubled. And if the most important part is on one side, you have this part reproduced on the other side, and you can switch on and off quite easily. It's something that don't need to modify the presentation. For example, I know that maybe you may know about this show. I don't know if it's authorized by the producers of those shows, but for example, with the show named World of Curiosity, it's a great free show, and most of the time explanations are like this. You can imagine that doubling them on the other side could help a lot, and that's what our software can do. And maybe other companies bringing simulators could do this as well. Okay, I will stop sharing my screen for now, and now that I have shown 2 examples of questions from the audience and questions that I asked to people and I didn't get the good answer, that made me bring contents to explain things a little bit and get things better explained. Do you have questions from your audience, or questions that you gave to the audience that made you difficulties, and what could be the best answer to give in an immersive way for our dome? If you were stuck sometimes with just explanations and not visuals, now it's time to discuss and try to find all together an answer. So did you have encountered troubles to give answers for first? Well, everything went well every time. Susan, you have muted your phone, your microphone.
This is similar to the question of when people come to the planetarium with misconceptions, how do you address those misconceptions? But I do notice, as you've shown, that as we are teaching, if you're very attuned to your audience, which generally we are in mobile domes, you will hear them say something on the side that you don't expect, that they're seeing something and they don't really understand it by their comment. You can tell that. And how do you address those things? I appreciate your attention to this detail, because this is really how we get to the nitty-gritty of teaching, listening to our audience's conception of what we're presenting. And that's what I've always said was the problem with just a full dome movie, is they're very, very powerful images. And if the misconception is set with this powerful image, it's really hard to get rid of it. So I really appreciate your work. And if there are people, I know there's other questions about your software in the chat, which we can address in a moment, but are there things that you've noticed in your planetarium that people say or do or respond to your questions in an unusual way? And how do you solve it? This is what Lionel is asking. Just speak up if you have something to offer.
I can give some examples if nobody has, but I would rather have some questions.
One of the things that I always got was, you're making your presentation, you're going along great, and you think everything is fine, and the children say, "Where's Earth?" You're talking about other planets out in space, and we're sitting on Earth, but they don't get it, that they're sitting on Earth. They're looking for Earth. They think they're out in space. So this sense of place is always an issue when you first start in the planetarium and orienting people to the model. That's one of the things that students don't understand, is the model of the planetarium itself. So I always started my lessons with establishing that we are sitting on our planet Earth and we're looking out towards the universe and the sky. That's an example.
Yeah, and sometimes I expect, well, when I tell, well, okay, you can see the orbit seen from Earth, of course, the orbits of Mercury, and I can show you that would be better that way. Oh, no, I don't want to share from this screen, but from the other. Okay. And sometimes I present just, that we can see the movement of planets and the sun, and that's what we can see. And after that, I stop and present the orbit of the planets. Oh yeah, I don't have them. There's a problem with the key. I can do it like this, sorry. Okay, yeah. And then I provide the orbit we can see of Mercury, the orbit of Venus, and then I ask what are the other orbits, and they tell, well, the Earth, because it's the third planet. But yes, we are on the Earth, and that's why we can't see it from there. Okay, Alan, you wanted to tell something?
Oh, this may be sort of tangentially related, but in terms of place, I was doing a planetarium program called How Big is the Universe? And we starting out from Earth and learning how, how we determine distance to things. And of course, ending up with galaxies uh, going away from us and those kinds of subjects. And I think this was for middle schoolers. And I got close to the end of the program, and a kid raised his hand and said, well, what's a galaxy? And here I had been using the term galaxy all the way through the program. So I guess the thing I learned there is to make sure the terms that you use are well defined as you use them. So that's that was the
Yeah,
lesson I learned.
and something also that ruin our impression of having done something good is when you don't tell the difference between a star and a planet, because most of the time they don't know the difference. So you are talking about stars, you are talking about planets, but you don't tell the difference, and that's important to begin with that, probably. Anna?
So last spring I did an English speaking program in a high school. And the teacher specifically asked me to do our ecology show, ecology and climate show. And I made the assumption that they talked to their students about that before they came to the dome. And I found out after on the post survey that they were really disappointed that it wasn't about astronomy because they wanted to see stars, which I had done at the very end. I did a little bit of a star show for them because they asked for it and we had the time. But that's when I learned don't trust the teachers to make sure that their students know what's going to happen. And I need to clarify what the show is beforehand or ask them if they know what the show is beforehand. So, yeah.
I think I did my best teaching when I was learning because I could imagine the questions, I had the same questions. So back to basics is where I kept going back to basics. And I'm doing that with my senior citizens now and talk about differences between planets and stars and their place in, space and solar system and the size and all that. They have no idea. So it's not just because they're young, it's because they don't have the experience. Mike says he usually turns the question, where's Earth, back to the class. I did that too, but then they would laugh at the person who asked. So that's when I started making it clear right from the get-go, so we didn't have that possibility of making fun of that person.
And there's a question from Jarvis.
With the question where the Earth is, because there's a lot of misconceptions that turn up repeatedly, and after a while you start to learn it. With where's the Earth one, I actually tell them about mythology, and I point out that the planets are named after the gods, apart from the Earth, because the people who named it were standing on it, and they never realised they were on a planet. But it's a lot of those misconceptions. It's sort of like the next day you think of the perfect answer for it, and you build up a library of answers for stock misconceptions, like there's no gravity on the moon. That's a regular one we get. And I've shown them an astronaut standing on the moon. Why is he not floating away? But it's often that case, sort of like, after 2 years of doing it, 3 years, 5 years, however many it's been now, you start to build up a library of standard answers to standard misconceptions. And then somebody will come up with a new one.
Great. Something that I have when I listen to questions, sometimes, but maybe it's specific from France or not, because most of the young people think sometimes, some of them, I mean, are thinking that we are in the Earth and not on the Earth. And also when they ask questions, they ask, can we touch the sun? Thinking that you will touch this big bowl of gas with your hands, but well, probably maybe more with your feet, with your feet than with your hand because of gravity, and you'll be attracted and you'll feel in another way with your conception of what is up, what is down, and they have difficulties to think about planets like how we are when we are on Earth. And that's why I tried to do things. Maybe I can share again my screen because I tried to explain things, and I'm not sure I gave the best answer for that because I tried to tell things like this animation. Oh yeah. To tell that we are on the Earth, but we are very small, and that's why we have things about the Earth, the atmosphere, about the sun, and the sun that we see rotates and goes setting, and then it's night, and so on and so on. But I'm not sure that it's okay for them to think that we are on top, we are at the bottom of the Earth. What could be the thing? We can go around the Earth. So many explanations. We are not inside because we couldn't see the stars from there. And where we live, we have clouds on top of us. We have satellites. So I tried to do some explanation, easy explanation that you can reproduce yourself in your dome. Or I tried to do some visuals with full dome visuals to try to tell things that all things are sticking because of gravity. But I'm not sure they understand fully what I'm talking about. So I tried also to do something like this, something quite similar to the first one, and imagine that people on the other side of the Earth would stay like this. No, they say like this. No, they stay like this. And for us, the girl is upside down, but for her, it's us who are upside down. So it's a way to explain things and using the dome for explaining this kind of stuff. And telling about, the fact that we stay like this, and if we jump, we can go down. And because we are attracted by the Earth, and if we could run, and jump, we will go somewhere. But if we jump because we are quicker, we will go in a more far away. And if we go too quick, we will be a satellite of the Earth. But that need to be 8 kilometers per second, which is quite important. A great speed. I don't know if you have brought ideas, if you have heard of some questions from the audience.
I just love the attempt that you are making to make it clearer. And Jarvis is right. We get some part right, and then the other part turns out to be something they don't understand. That's what makes our job so interesting. We just keep getting more and more challenges. There are some questions. Oh, it's so hard to remember what it's like not to know. And it's one of the wonderful parts of working with children and listening to them and their naive perspectives. Yes. There were some questions earlier in the chat about your software. Let's see if I can find it. There's a big long chat about people using StarLab. A lot of us are still using StarLab. That's fun. Oh, is your free version on Windows?
Yes, it's available on Windows now, but you need, in any case, a good graphic card because there are some 3D related visuals that need Vulkan compatible graphic cards. All the NVIDIA cards, for example, but and if you need the Windows version, you have to contact me directly through the website of Spacecrafter. I will bring the website on the chat in case you need.
They're also asking what's the budget for the LSS 2025?
Oh, for the Samyang, for example, it's less than $200. The diagonal, you can expect having one with $100. You have to get some preference with Orion diagonal mirrors because those are with a screw in SCT format. SCT is a Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope, and the focal reducer from Celestron, for example, and as well as the mid focal reducer is in SCT format. So that will fit perfectly with the screw adapted from the reducer, focal reducer, to the diagonal mirror. That's why it's better to have Orion diagonal mirror and not Kepler, for example, which have a different screw that will imply to have some adapters for fixing them. And the 85 millimeter Samyang camera lens costs something like I don't remember, maybe $200 in the market for used lenses. And that's why with $500 you can have a complete block. Oh yeah, the focal reducer is $150. So yeah, maybe a little bit more now, like $650 to have a full complete LSS block.
Thank you. Whew, lots of good information. Thank you so much. I think we'll make you a regular part of our meetings. And congratulations on the 1 year anniversary of PIAF.
Yes,
Wow.
Association of Interactive Planetarium
In France.
running planetarium people in
Right.
France, yes.
Okay, let's see. Moving on. Oh. We have in the chat, hello, we request if anybody here can help us or guide us on calibration of multi-projector projection. We're planning for a fixed planetarium dome. Any leads appreciated. Minimize cost. And yeah, any help that they can get, everybody look at that chat and you can respond to that individually. Okay. Alan has also put a nice message there about how big is the universe. All right. Let's move on to Centennial of the Planetarium. Marco?
Hey, thank you, Susan. I'll share the presentation I have for today. Okay, so now regarding the closing events of the Centennial celebration, it's going to be on May 7th. This is the end of the 2 years that we have spent celebrating the Centennial. And since the date is getting closer now, we have more details on how we can participate as mobile domes. There will be an online transmitted event exactly that day. That's the time, UTC. So good luck. But at that time, the live stream will start. I don't have this confirmation, but I think it's going to be through the IPS YouTube channel. So I would suggest to subscribe there. There's going to be a flat image live stream. So it's basically easy to participate. You can just buy some popcorn and watch, but the suggestion is that you submit and participate live during the event. Okay. So there will be live and recorded greetings, some show materials that they are producing. And well, there are some surprises, in fact. Some of them are in progress right now, but we will have very interesting and fun things to watch during that. So be attentive to the IPS YouTube channel and again, subscribe if you haven't done so. So that's the time when this is happening. Now, regarding the what we are going to do, I mean, we, all of us. The IPS is producing a script for live presentations that are going to be related to what has happened during the last 100 years regarding our view of the universe and the use of the planetariums to show people about that. So yes, live presenters, we can have a guide to do our own shows that day about the topic, the 100 years of the planetarium and our evolution of the knowledge of the universe. There's going to be a full dome production. I will give you some details on how we can participate also in that production. These two are already online at the Planetarium 100 website. Kira is a free show and it's already been translated into many languages. I still haven't located or found if anybody has done that in Spanish, which is my interest, but if not, we're going to work in a Spanish version. but there are other versions too. 100 Years of Eternity, it's already in a lot of languages, so you can keep contact with the producer. It's quite a long show for a mobile dome, more than 40 minutes. But again, when I present that on May 7th, I will have a special audience. I will be ready to endure the 40 minutes at the dome watching that. I may have them to get into the planetarium, then we go outside, do other things, and then come back again. So when we have a small group, we can do several in and outs of the dome for this kind of events. Okay. So that's about those ones. And of course, your programming. You're going to personalize whatever you're going to do. But you can include all of this that's going to happen on that day. For the flat video submissions, I took these two examples of our previous candidates for presidents because of this. Has to be a very short greeting, since we expect a lot of participation here, 10 seconds in your local language, okay? And then we will add the subtitles in English. So that's the reason we need a text file with a translation in English, so we can be sure that it matches what you're saying. This is the format, normal, MP4 or QuickTime format. And the resolution, just 4K maximum, okay? HD would be just fine, HD. But if you are going to record it with your phone, which you can, of course, please make sure that the audio is clear and that you use the orientation properly. They allowed horizontal and vertical. I myself would have prohibited vertical, but since they are allowing it, just make sure that it makes sense, since you're going to frame it that way. But however you use it, please use it perfectly. And when you share it via WhatsApp is not the proper way to send it because we need the full resolution from the video. The audio is usually included with the video, but it's important. Later, I'll give you a link where you have to send the submissions for this, okay? Now, for the full dome submissions, if we want to be part of this celebration of the production for domes, we can submit 3 minutes maximum. And what about it? Well, they say something unique or special to your region or planetarium, your town, venue, objects. If in your city there's something historical about astronomy, for example, could be something like that. So anything you can think that identifies your place or your country culturally. The resolution, I think that's 8K, if I'm not mistaken, maximum, but I would suggest minimum 4K if possible, because it's going to be made for big planetariums too. So we'll try to aim at least for 4K or 8K. The format, these two formats, normal MP4, audio is also included. And there's this website, which has been going on since the beginning of the celebration, planetarium100.org. And you can find that there's in the news, on the main page, there's a closing event link. And there's more details about this. About everything I'm telling you, I just took it from there. But this is a kind of a standard for all video production softwares.
What is the deadline?
Wow, that's it's not much March, I think. But I'll check on that then. I think if they have not added it, I have to publish this soon on IPS Facebook page, and it will definitely have the deadline, of course. I will ask the team about that. And this full dome can be just whatever you can create in this format, animated or filmed with a 360 camera, whatever you want, okay? And so both of these, please send it to therewetransfer.com link. It's already also on the web page before, so you can find it there. Okay, well, and that's about it. So we hope a lot of people participate in this. Any question about this?
Thinking about doing that exact thing, even getting people to send greetings in their language and in English, but subtitle in English is better. I like that. Excellent idea. I can't wait for that because at my location, I'm doing a week-long celebration. The university and the local science center and the amateur astronomers of Pittsburgh are all getting together along with the observatory, the Allegheny Observatory, a very historic observatory. And we're doing a week-long series of events. Schools will come in during the day. Families will come in for shows during the night. We're going to have a Star Lab analog set up, a mirror system set up, and a full dome fisheye system set up to show the difference in the evolution of portable planetariums and how they've changed over the years. So people will be able to cycle through the different domes and see the evolution. We're doing activities while people wait. We're having a lecture evening where graduate students and high school students are presenting their research projects. We'll have the local science center is going to be running concurrent events, and the observatory, and then we'll have a night of observing using the amateur astronomers. So we're trying to make this a great big deal. And because the 7th falls in the middle of the week, we decided we're just going to expand it in both directions. So I hope that you are planning something at your location, and you can keep us posted about what you're doing. Of course, at our next meeting, we can share some of the things that we've done, but I would sooner rather than later go to that website. There's so much information on it, planetarium100.org. You have to take a really deep dive because there's so much stuff there that you can use. And please do send your greetings in ahead of time before this event, because I'm hoping to use a flat screen and have the greetings constantly going while we're having our celebration. So please do that. Any questions, comments?
For this centennial celebration, what I'm planning to do is, since it's school day, but it's natural, just go to school. And so we're going to a high school, a scientific high school. Our daughter is there, so it's easy to coordinate with the director and ask for permission to have their students during maybe a couple of hours to be present at this celebration. So they're going to be the lucky ones having the centennial at their own high school. Jonna, did you raise your hand?
Yes, hello everyone, and have a happy new year. Yeah, so Martina just put a message to the chat about it. I have to leave in a while because the sky is clear and I still have to go to host a star show at our observatory. But yeah, we have had we have been talking at the NPAs and the last IPS about making this European mobile domes group, and we have started to plan this thing. Days and Martina knows also about this, and we are having a meeting, a remote meeting on Wednesday. I can put a link here in the chat, so everybody who is interested in this can also join. Yeah, wait a moment. Here. So it's also in Zoom, and yeah, 2 p.m. UK time. So if you're interested in this, please feel free to join also. And thank you for this meeting.
Thank you for the invitation, of course.
That's wonderful. It says tentative. Is it actually happening or?
Yeah, it's actually happening. That I just copied that from our this email address. There is a few from NPA who has been planning this, and there is a few people who can at least attend according to our doodle. At least I think it was 8 or 9 persons. So if you want to join, feel free.
Excellent. I will certainly try to do that. Okay. Wonderful. Thanks for letting us know about that.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, I have to leave soon. So if there's any questions, I guess Martina or Days can also answer. But yeah, it's like just in this planning phase. So we don't have any like that much information about it. So we are talking about it more on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a reminder to everyone, if you haven't put your name and your location in the chat, please do that before you leave. Thank you. Is there a website for European Mobile Planetariums? Is in the chat?
There is no website, but there is this website for NPA, the Nordic Planetarium Association. So that I guess would be a good site to visit, but there is still no, because we are just planning this whole thing. So it's not currently no websites.
Okay, great. One other thing before we leave is I got a request from Susie Gorton. She was trying to find out how many portable planetariums were in Arizona near her, and so that she could share if someone's looking for a portable planetarium to do some work. And the world wide database on the IPS website is usually where I go to look for those things, and there are not very many people registered there from portable planetariums, which is a constant problem. So I'm going to make a plea again for you. If you have not gone to the IPS website and go to the tab that says About and go down to the worldwide database and sign yourself in so that you can be listed. You don't have to be a member of IPS. Of course, we want you to be a member of some sort, but you don't have to be a member to be listed as a planetarium in the world. So please do that if you haven't done that already, so that people can contact you or stay connected in your area. Well, yeah, thank you. That's great. Thank you, Marco. And you can see down, there are different databases, but the worldwide planetarium database is the most comprehensive as far as I can see. And yet portable domes are more than those stationary domes, and we're not listed. So make sure you and your friends list their portable domes. Thank you.
You can go to the map of portable domes, going to home, home button, yeah, and mobile dome. No, mobile domes, yeah. And here you've got the map, but the map is very limited because we listed only those who referenced, except from France, because we made it for France at first and expanded to the world. Thank you, Susan.
Yep. Yep. Right. Okay. Wow, we have so many more questions that we could bring up here and discussions. I'm going to briefly bring up one that Daka Bolade asked a list of questions at one point, and I kept that list because I think they're all important questions. We've never been able to get to them all. But one of the questions I ran into while I was talking to the Arab community, and they asked the same question. How do you work with groups with different levels of knowledge, different ages? How do we address this kind of a group in our planetarium? A lot of us teach schools, so you have somewhat of a level of understanding that you realize for each grade level, but some of us do public shows, and is there some special things that you can keep in mind when you are working with audiences of different knowledge levels? Any comments on that?
I can start there. We do both live teaching with astronomy. I had this last year, a group of kids from 6 to 12, for example, and the younger ones didn't know even how to read properly, and the other ones, the older ones, were expecting higher level things. So when I have to explain something, anything about a comet going through the solar system, for example, I have to start from the very basic of the solar system. Here is the sun, now here's the earth, here are the rest of the planets, and try to get from the bottom to the top. Then I can finally explain what I wanted. But I try to grab everything and bring it up. That's what I do in live presentations. And in pre-recorded shows, we have different versions. And when we have a mixed age group, we try to keep it in the middle, if possible. If not, we go for the upper level version, and hope the rest understands.
Or they ask questions of someone or look it up in the library or something or on Google. You're inspiring them anyway. Anything else?
Yeah, there are many raised hands there.
Emka?
All right. Thank you very much. Emeka, I'm calling from Enugu, Nigeria. Well, our mobile planetarium is not quite old, just about 2 years now. What we've been doing when we have different age groups, we try to separate them into different, the last planetarium show we had in December, 24th of December and 31st of December, we had a planetarium show, and we had over 150 children and adults. Now, what we did in that scenario was we tried to group them, have them into different age groups, because we realized that the previous ones we had is very difficult for the younger ones to comprehend when you are making a presentation, when you put them together with adults. And also when you certain presentations that children understand very well, the adult might not find it interesting. So what we did in that scenario, we separated them into different age groups. So it implied that we had different planetarium shows. We had a 3 hours planetarium show for different age groups. So we kind of did it that way, and it worked out fine for us. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Martina?
Yes, we also normally get school groups, so that's easy to pitch the level. But if we do get a mixed group, say there are some older children in helping the younger ones, or if we have mixed groups with families, for example, we'll say, this is a question for the children. If the younger ones don't get it, we'll give them a chance first, then we'll ask the grown-ups, or then we'll ask the older kids, and just literally just tell them. And so all the younger ones get a chance to answer. If no one's sure, then we can ask the older ones. And then they get to feel that they're more knowledgeable from the offset, but it gives everyone a chance to have a go.
Yeah, and the adults like it when you help the children. Especially parents. Well, the second part of the question is, do we always need to produce very educational shows?
There was a raised hand by Anna first.
Go ahead.
It's fine.
You can respond to both, Anna.
I already don't remember what the second part was.
Your microphone, Susan.
How do you deal with different age groups in one group, one presentation?
I mean, we do a lot of public shows, so I often will just define things anyway, because a lot of the older people in the audience maybe don't remember anyway, and they don't want to ask. I find that the kids are the ones who are going to answer and ask, and that draws it out of the adults or the older kids who are in the room. And I've had shows where it was all adults in the room except for two very small children, and they were asking really advanced questions that all the adults in the room actually kind of shut down a little bit at that. So, and maybe a child, I'm pointing out the planets and I'm pointing out a very basic plane of the ecliptic in the night sky, for example, and look at where the planets are riding. What do you notice about the constellations that it's going through? And then usually the kids will yell out something about astrology, and then I can bring it back to astronomy. But then there was one time where I had an adult say, well, why does it do that? And then that gave me the option from moving from the optimic to the digital system to show them from the solar system. And it was the kids who shouted out, oh, I see why. So I find that a lot of times they work together really well naturally and bring out the strengths in each other. But I always assume that the older people in the room don't know the answer to something that the youngers might not know too. I never make the assumption that anybody knows anything that we're going to be talking about, even if it's basic things, because a lot of times adults, the last time they thought about moon phases was in elementary school.
Thank you. Yes, all good points. Some interesting comments in the chat. We don't always have to aim for education, but we should always aim for inspiration over education. Sometimes true, especially, well, always true, even if you're doing an educational show. Oscar, did you want to tell us about this again? Oscar, you want to tell us?
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am Oscar. I'm from.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Do you hear me?
I hear you now.
Okay. So for the first question, we play with the small ones, kids from 5, 6, 8 years. We send to the teachers an astronaut masquerade, so they can draw in it. They can paint it with fluorescent paints, and when they go into the planetarium, we uses UV lights, so the masquerade can turn it to the fluorescent effect, and all the children go motivate to participate into the lecture. Okay. And we use the slides as they were in a party, because I understand this. I am not a teacher. I am a man who want to innovate with the kids, and try to get to them inspiration over the education. So and after we can go to play with them with some rockets out of the planetarium, so they can participate and play as a group. Maybe you can go to my Instagram page. I put it before in the chat, and you can go and you can see what we do here. Thank you. I don't hear you, Susan.
Sorry. I like the idea of using special effects. I've used blacklight a lot, and music and songs and special lights, all very good, even at any age. Any more comments? One of the things that I thought would be, if you did a public show and you have astronomers and you have preschool kids and you have all these wide range of people, one of the topics that seems to interest all ages, without getting into the technical astronomy part, is cultural astronomy. So that's always a topic that can reach across age levels. Storytelling and the different views of the universe by different cultures is very interesting to everyone. Well, we're coming up on the 2-hour point, so I guess I thought it was going to be a very short session because we only had 4 or 5 presenters, but as usual, we fill up the time just fine. And I look forward to having another chance to meet with you. I will try to go to that European meeting, but probably our next international meeting will be May 10th. So you can put that on your calendar, and we will be sending out the link and notices as we get closer to that time. So May 10th, 2025. All right. Oh, wait, can't do May 10th. That's when I'm doing all this stuff with the Science Center. Okay, how about any suggestions, people? I think April is full because of Easter and all those school breaks, etc. May 2nd, would that work? Marco, do you think May 2nd is okay?
It's fine for me. It's a Saturday again, right? It's been working quite well Saturdays.
It's
May 2nd is a Friday.
Yeah, May the 3rd.
I'm sorry, May
3rd.
3rd. Yeah, I'm looking at my calendar here. Does that work for everyone, or is that too close to the centennial celebration?
Yeah, we can do that. And Anna is reminding about the participation, the Full Dome Festival. Can you talk about that, Anna, just a little bit?
Oh, yes.
Sure. So I haven't officially started in Jena, but I think they'd appreciate me announcing, especially since I've seen so many people talking about their content here. Every year, the Jena Full Dome Festival takes place, usually in May. This year it'll be May 15th through 18th. That's Germany, if that wasn't clear, sorry. And yeah, we would love for you to submit any works that you've done. It doesn't have to be a full-length show. We also have a shorts category. The link is in the chat, and you can find out all of the requirements there. The deadline to submit is March 4th for Dome content. Unfortunately, the live categories have already had their deadline pass. But yeah, if you have content, please submit. And if you don't get selected this year, we ask that you please submit again next year. We get a ton of, I learned this last year hosting IPS with them. We get a ton of submissions of really quality content, and it's always really hard to pick. So, but hopefully we can accept everyone because it's fun to see everything. So yeah, anyway, please submit. Thanks.
Hey, thanks for that announcement.
Yeah, thank you. And Planetario Aventura from Costa Rica is going to submit to the Full Dome Festival this year.
Yay. Okay, May 3rd will be our next meeting then. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending and for contributing to the conversation. I hope your year continues to be wonderful. And keep in touch if you have questions or a proposal to present next time.
Okay, do we make a group photo? Anyone that can or want to turn on the camera? I'll just make a screenshot here. Okay, there you go.
Great.
Okay, I may have to do 2 screens, so hang on.
Yep.
And thank you for your participation. This is great. I think we're all together now. There. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Talk to you next time.
Yeah. நன்றி, வணக்கம், bye.
Bye-bye.